Oh,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly DVMUG meeting. Today's Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. Everybody out there, you know me as Bruce, and I'm the presenter this week, and I will be calling on John and everybody else to help if I need some. And it looks like I will with some of the first item anyway of the news. So anyway, the links to the tech to the news and to the videos are on BBS, and you can go over there and read them at your leisure. And for those of you that don't have a BBS account, John is your man, and John and also Ann will provide you with the help. And so you can get yourself out there and read whatever you need to.
the news, the
Also,
news,
the
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 new,
links
the
will be
news. Hold on, the news and the video is in the chat if you want to download them.
I was just getting there. News will be in the chat,
It is
and
now.
you can download it from there. And anyway, this is being recorded, and so let's go on with the news. So the first thing on here is update. I always do this. Update. Remember to update, and believe it or not, uh, be sure to update because today Apple's put out a whole bunch of updates. I'd like John, please, to elaborate on all this, if you will.
Normal round of updates, everything. Sequoia, iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, visionOS, tvOS, HomePod software, and also uh, Sonoma and Ventura security updates, which aren't listed in here, but they are in this article if you want to read them. There also doesn't mention there's some Apple Intelligence features that have been added, and those are documented in screenshots in this article here at Tidbits. It covers everything. So if you're interested, there is updates, and you should do them because there's security updates in here, not just features.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I like to add to that today also your Zoom had an update also. So make sure all the stuff is updated for you. The stuff is just changing at the speed of light nowadays, and I guess we have to stay on top of the updates. So this is what needs to be done right now, but so here's the not so urgent and a little couple of weeks old news, and here we go. Apple has decided to use Google as a search engine because Apple is saying they are not in the business of creating their own search engine. So they asked Google to not to make any changes as far as Apple's concerned. So I guess from for the foreseeable future, we'll have Google as our search engine provided to us when we purchase a Apple product like an iPhone or iPad or even a Mac. So, but the next thing is, this is a good one. California prevails on net neutrality. I think we talked about it last time or something like that. But so what it does is California, we have our own laws, and this bill 822 that was passed in 2018 supersedes everything else, and you shouldn't have to worry about anybody throttling your internet. It is in California, it's illegal to do this for any internet provider. And another one, We also talked about this, and this has to do with the new USB 3 uh, port that's provided to you when we buy new equipment like iPhones, iPads, and even MacBooks, where you can use it has a USB-C. Somebody out there, some researcher, decided to I shouldn't have to say anything about, derogatory about this, but they decided to reverse engineer the USB controller that the USB cable plugs into to either charge it for the first thing or transfer data from it or someplace else. Well, what they did was that they were able to reverse engineer this thing and they were able to implant a little chip in the cable that was able to install software that was malicious. Well, anyway, the way around it is to buy cables that are from Apple. They are only cables that will not do this. Any other cable out there or unknown or no name cable like that has the capability or possible capability of doing some bad stuff to our equipment. It also, according to some people this is from AI, Apple Insider, and it went into Reddit, and some people were coming up with a whole bunch of different stuff, like what stops anybody else with the correct cable to get into your device. Um, the reason is that before nobody was able to get into your iPhone. If they didn't have a code, they couldn't get into it. Was something is happening now where that's not it anymore. Unless this is patched, there is some kind of vulnerability that might provide us with some trouble later on if it's not taken care of soon. So as far as that's concerned, buy only the correct cables. So that was it. I have for the news. I have a few videos. Um, and we can talk about this later on and what we can do about using correct cables and everything. But if we may now, let's just go on with the videos that I have stacked up. I have some. Some are short, and this first one is a little lengthy. Well, it's 7 minutes. But anyway, most of them are short, so let's see what we can find out from. The first one is from MacMost, and it's how to create a QR code on your Mac. I was under the wrong impression, but let him tell us. Let him tell us how to do it. So here we go.
Gary here with MacMost. Let's look at creating QR codes on your Mac. Now, QR codes, of course, are those handy little square graphics with black dots. You'll see them in places like restaurants or on signs, things like that. Usually you point your phone at them,
It's
use the
really
camera, and it
laggy
will
for
take you to a
me.
web page.
Anybody
But you could
else?
actually
Not
use QR
working.
codes for a variety of different things. The basic idea is that a QR code will represent a string
Dragging so
of
bad.
characters, but just in a
Not
way
working,
that's
Bruce.
easy for a mobile phone's camera to be able to.
It's really, really slow, Bruce.
So,
Yeah,
a
it's changing every second.
Yeah,
Whoa,
it's something's wrong.
it's
I
not
don't know what.
changing
It played
here.
early. It's really slow motion.
Really?
Are
It
you
looked.
It's
are
real
you
jerky.
Bruce? Are you using an Ethernet connection to your
Yes,
modem?
I am.
Okay.
Oh,
You on Wi-Fi or Ethernet?
Wi-Fi, and I checked Wi-Fi 800 uh, bits per second.
Are you connected to Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
Or
on
or are you connected via Ethernet
Ethernet.
and turn off the Wi-Fi?
Let me.
Can we skip this and go on?
Well, we can try another one. We tried this earlier and it was fine. So I don't know if it's this particular video or what.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Let's.
Gary here with MacMo.
Now it started better. Go back to the beginning of that one and let's try that.
Yeah.
Try the next one.
No, the first one was beginning to work right.
Well, you can try the first one again. It could have been in some kind of weird. Just try it again. If it's not, we'll skip that one, go to the next one.
Do we want to skip or we want to play it again?
No, play it and see what happens.
Okay.
Gary here with MacMost. Let's look at creating QR codes on your Mac. Now, QR codes, of course, are those handy little square graphics with black dots. You'll see them in places like restaurants or on signs, things like that. Usually you point your phone at them,
How many
use the
times do you
camera,
have to
and it will
fool
take you
around?
to a
Let's
web
move
page.
on.
But you could actually use QR codes for a variety of different things. The basic idea is that a QR code will represent a string of characters, but just in a way that's easy for a mobile phone's camera to be able to read and reproduce. So a simple QR code like this one may simply represent the characters in a URL, like going to macmost.com. But the great thing about QR codes is that your camera can read them no matter how long they are. So if it's a long URL, say going to a specific web page inside of a directory, inside of a website, you don't have to rely on somebody typing all of that. They can simply point their phone at it and their phone will figure out the URL and go to the web page in the browser. And most QR codes are just this. They go to web pages. Sometimes they can be complex web pages like ones that trigger going to the App Store to show a specific app or even to some other app to go to a specific part of that app. But they're basically just URLs. The same thing as just typing
Let's
in
move on.
the web
This is
page
a failure.
address. It's just a lot easier to go from the physical world to the online world if you can point your camera at it instead of.
Is this not playing right?
Mine is okay.
Yeah,
Well,
mine's
it's
It's
fine.
okay to me. It's okay.
It's
Keep
okay.
playing.
It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
It's playing
Yeah,
fine.
it's much,
Mine's
much
okay.
better.
Mine is fine.
It's way out of.
Move forward. It's fine.
relying on the user to type each character. But how to create these codes? If you search online, you're going to come up with tons of websites that will allow you to create QR codes. The only problem is you've probably never heard of most of these websites. You don't know what they're doing when they encode the URL. Probably most of them aren't doing anything. They're just taking those characters and making a nice looking QR code. But it's possible that some of them could be redirecting through their own site, acting as kind of a URL shortener, and then they could use that to either track the visitors to your webpage, or there may be a problem if that website or service disappears in the future. Your QR code doesn't work anymore. So it's always safest to just generate your own QR code. But how to do that, since it looks like all of the QR code generators are some site or service, even if it's from a company you've heard of like Google or Adobe, you might not want to have anybody between your QR code and your website. Well, fortunately, there's a way to generate QR codes directly on your Mac using a shortcut. And you don't even have to create the shortcut. The shortcut is already there. It's already built in. So in the Shortcuts app, go to Gallery. So these are some pre-made shortcuts that Apple provides. There are a lot of demos and things you can learn from. But if you search the gallery for QR code, you'll come up with this shortcut called Make QR Code. Click on the plus button here to add it. So now you've got a copy of the shortcut. Go into all shortcuts and you should see it there. And if you take a look at it, you can see exactly what it does. It's going to prompt for the type of QR code, because it turns out you can use QR codes for a lot more than just opening a website. But that is the first option here. And then there are a bunch of other options, and you can see exactly how it works if you're interested. If not, you don't actually even need to look at the code. You could just click the little play button there and run this whenever you need to use it. And you can see here, it prompts you for what type of QR code to make. So if it's just a simple open website, you choose that and then choose the site. So I'm going to choose macmost.com, but I could choose a really long URL that goes to a specific page. Click done, and it will generate this QR code like that. And now I could simply right click or two-finger click on a trackpad and select copy image. And now that I've done that, say I'm working on a sign I'm making, a page, I can just paste it in here and then resize it and work with it just like any other image. And now I've got that QR code there. If somebody points their iPhone at it and uses the camera app, they will go to macmost.com. So this is a quick and handy way to do it, and it's all done on your Mac. There's no third party involved. Code is actually just your URL there. There's no middleman. It will never stop working. As long as your website works, that QR code will go there as surely as somebody typing in that URL. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. Read about it right here. But notice you can also do a lot of other things here. So when you run it, one of the things you can do is send a message or send an email. So for instance, for sending an email, use that, and then it's going to have you select a contact. And this is going to be where the email goes. So if it's going to be an email that you want coming to you, like you want a QR code that says, email me for more information, then you would select your contact here. And you could see I could select the email address there. You could have the subject line filled in. So we'll do test subject. We can have the body of the email filled in. Of course, all this can be edited before the user sends. It doesn't send automatically. So you can have, whatever you want in here, and then hopefully somebody could add extra information to it if they want in the body. And then it generates this QR code. So if they take their phone and point it at, say, a sign that you've created, then you'll see the QR code information appear here at the bottom, and they click it, and you could see it comes up with an email like this. Everything's filled in. And it works the same for messages. You could also add a contact. So this is a great way to share, say, your business card with somebody. This is actually a way that not only could you have it on a sign, but maybe even have it shown on your screen if you want. Bring up this graphic. So you choose the contact there, and it creates this V card. And if somebody were to point their phone at this, you could see here, it comes up and it brings up all the contact information, and they can now choose to create a new contact, add to existing contact, and all of that. All the information is filled in, and it's easy for them to do. You could also add an event. So to do this, you would call the event something, and then you can add a specific date like that, add an ending date. Let's just leave it at the same. And then this will allow them to quickly add an event to their calendar. So here we go, and there's the name of the event there. Tap it, and it brings up the event details, and they could add to their calendar. You can also have it set up a wireless network. You would enter the name of your Wi-Fi network, and then enter in the password, and then done, and it creates this QR code, and when they point their phone at it, you could see it's got a little join and that network there. So this could even be a hidden network that they wouldn't normally see, and you're just providing them with the name of the network and the password to get on. You could put this up on a sign in your home for guests to use. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
So any questions or, and I apologize for if there was any problems, because I do not see any problems on my side.
It's fine. It's working fine. Don't worry about it.
So my thing about this was that I thought I could generate random QR codes, but I guess if you're using shortcuts, you can only do certain ones, or like for email or your network or whatever else. But I was interested in how to generate your own QR codes and use them for your own purposes. So I guess maybe this wasn't the answer, or I have to dig into it a little deeper than that. Anybody else have any questions?
Well, I got one, Bruce. What exactly did you want him to do?
here's what I was thinking about is I have a whole bunch of stuff in the garage that needs to be put away in some kind of inventory way so I can find it later on. In other words, I'll put some kind of a code on a box and put that box someplace. And then you just scan that code and it tells you what's in it.
Right. There's an app for that.
Just
There is
thank you,
one.
Sharon. I was gonna say there's an app for that. Please, Sharon, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just heard on the TV and I don't remember the name offhand. I'll see if I could something like Everlance or it's not that. I don't know offhand. I never did download it yet to get my Christmas stuff. Yeah, what do you put in your boxes and you take a photo of it
Yeah,
and you put
yeah, that's exactly what I was
Yeah.
because
I can't think. Maybe it'll come back to me. I'll Google it. Sorry.
On TikTok, it shows it on there.
yeah, I guess it would take some work to start with because you have to indicate what's in it, right? And
It's just
but
a list. It just pulls it just you type the list, it says, create QR code, type that list in, and then it creates a code, stick it on the box. Next time you point the phone at the box, it pulls up that
okay,
list.
okay. Well, all right.
Well,
Um,
another related to QR codes. Uh, Maybe some of you haven't seen the warning, but people have been going around sticking bogus QR or malware QR codes over ones that you see in public places. San Francisco parking meters.
hmm,
That QR code that was on the parking meter, sometimes it was pasted over, and then you go to a bogus website where you give your credit card information. So just be careful of QR codes in public places. They're not always reliable, and you can't tell.
Yeah,
I
you've got
just
that little bubble that's on there and make sure that's the one you want. Because a
I
lot of times you're in a hardware store and it says blah blah blah, and you put your QR code, your camera up there, and it'll direct you to, you know, Saints Praises or whatever website, and you're going, that's not what I want.
Yeah, yeah.
I just Googled setting up inventory with QR code,
Yay, Rick.
and I'm sorry.
I said, yay, Rick.
Oh, and apparently that's built into Google Sheets.
oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, that's what it
Oh,
says. I'm not. There's a video on it, but I'm not watching it. But inventory with QR code using Google Sheets, and Google Forms.
Oh, cool.
hey, nice to know. And yes, these things actually take you, these little squares take you someplace. And it is there is a possibility that if um something is pasted on top of something else, for example, like you go, the reason I'm talking about this is like you go to some restaurant and they have a QR code on a table, or and that gives you the menu. And but I never thought that, gosh, how a child, well, anyway, that anybody would be able to, I mean, would be putting stuff, I guess just, well, now that I think about it, it's just like scanning your credit card when you go pay for gasoline. Okay. So yeah, be careful on where you start scanning these things now. So, but okay. Anybody else have anything to say about this? If
Yeah,
not,
I told you a year ago. Oops, let me get my picture up here. Um, that when I had a security session that Merrill Lynch put on for investors, they said a year ago not to click on any QR codes in public.
okay, good
And
to
that was a
know.
year ago. warning people not to do it because of the high proclivity for scamming. Anyway.
Thank you. Thank you for your input there. You know, we're nowadays I tell you the truth, I'm a basically a lazy person. If I see something that's done for me, I'll go for it. Well, okay. It's something to think about. So, okay, well, the next one is Rich Barnes. This is for those of us who have iPads and with keyboards. And that's what my wife does. And this is a good video. The thing about this is, I'll talk about this later on, but here we go.
When I first started using computers back in the 80s, I had to memorize every keystroke. You know, and if you hit the wrong keys, you could bring down the space shuttle. I hated it. Then Windows PCs and the Mac introduced the mouse and everything became much easier. But now I'm back making a video on iPad keyboard shortcuts. I can't believe I'm talking about keystrokes again. But I'm telling you, memorize even a couple of these keyboard shortcuts and using the iPad with a keyboard will be so much better. Hi, my name is Rich and I make easy to follow videos on how to use your iPad and iPhone, and today's video is no exception. I'm going to show you 10 super useful keyboard shortcuts that I use all the time. But to make things easy, you don't have to memorize this stuff. I've included a link in the description below to a one-page PDF that contains all of these shortcuts and their associated functions. You can click on that link and download it if you want it. My guess is that you may already know about some of these, as well as, not care about some of the others. But there's probably a few that you don't know about that you might find very helpful. And by the way, if you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing. I'm grateful for everyone who follows this channel. Okay, before we get started, I just want to say I'm using the iPad Magic keyboard that has what's called the globe key right here. If you have just a regular Apple keyboard like this, the function key right here serves as the globe key. So I only have the globe key on my Magic keyboard, but I use this keyboard a lot with my iPad, and so I just use the function key, so the two are interchangeable. So if you're using a keyboard like this, you'll be good to go. Okay, the first keyboard shortcut I want to show you is just how to bring up Spotlight Search. It's a way to search for anything on your iPad. You can just tap Command Space, and there you go. And then if you type in Safari, you can click the return and it opens Safari. If you bring it up again, you can just type in, say, calendar and click return and it'll open your calendar just like that. Just remember, Command Space will bring up Spotlight Search no matter where you are. Super handy. Okay, the next key command is probably my favorite. It's to bring up a quick note. And all you do is you tap Globe Q, and it's easy to remember because Q is for quick note, and you can just type another quick note. Just like that. Well, you won't spell it that way. Like that, quick done. And now you're done. And again, if you want to just bring up another quick note, Globe Q, and you've got another quick note, just like that. Click done. Super handy. And by the way, I don't know if you're like me, but I use those quick notes like sticky notes. So I just bring it up, type something in real quick, and then it goes over into Apple Notes. And then I go back in there and figure out whether I want to keep it or delete it. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is just how to get back to your home screen very quickly. Let's say you're in an app like Photos, like this. To get back to home screen, it's just Globe and H. Just like that. No matter where you are, you can be in music, you can hit Globe H, and you're back to your home screen, and you can have a whole bunch of different apps open. But again, Globe H is for home screen, and it's easy to remember because it's H. You know, Globe Q is quick note, Globe H is home screen. Pretty easy. The next thing I want to show you is just how to bring up Control Center. Normally you have to kind of reach up here and swipe down and you can bring up Control Center. But if you hit Globe C, you can bring up Control Center that way. And maybe you want to turn on dark mode like that. Again, globe C for control center.
This is
Pretty
more
easy to
narrow.
remember, again, because it's C for control center. So you're starting to sort of get the idea of what I'm doing here. H is for home screen, Q is for quick note, C is for control center. Pretty handy. The next one is just to bring up your notifications. Now, you know, sometimes when you have Notification Center on your home screen like that, that's where you see it. But if you want to check your notifications, you can just tap Globe In like that, and that brings that back up. Very handy. Sometimes I'm working on something and I know that I've gotten a few notifications in and I haven't paid attention to them, and just hitting Globe In will bring all of those notifications back up for me to check real quick. Super handy. The next thing I want to show you is a command to how to bring up the dock. So let's say you're in the Photos app like this. If you notice, the dock is not here at the bottom, but if you hit Globe A, you can bring up the dock. Now, and if you hit Globe A again, it takes the dock away. So you could swipe up with your finger and bring the dock up, but Globe A will bring it up and then toggle it back down when you want to get it out of the way. And this is handy when you're wanting to open up apps in split screen. So maybe you want the calendar up beside you like that, and bringing up Globe A will allow you to do that. The next one is kind of related to the last key command. You had Globe A to bring up the dock. But if you tap Globe Shift A, it'll bring up the app library like that, so you can find any app that you want that's on your iPad. Okay, let's say you're in an app like this, like Photos. You can hit Globe Shift A and bring up the app library, and you can hit Globe Shift A and hide the app library. Pretty handy. The next key command allows you to just sort of navigate through all of your apps that you have open. So right now I have the Photos app open, but again, if I tap globe and arrow, I can just go through the various apps that I have, just like this. And you can go through them one by one. You can scroll just like that, or you can globe and go back the other way using the other arrow. So you've got the left and right arrows that you can use to get to different things, just like that. Pretty handy. You may have an app up like this and you want to do split screen. Well, there is the ability to swipe up and to take an app here and drag it over. You can do that, or you can hit globe, control, and the left arrow, and it takes it over to the side, and you can just open the app like that, and it's immediately opened in split screen, and you didn't have to do all of that fiddling around to get it up that way. Again, you're in this, you hit globe, control, left arrow, takes it over. You can choose an app, and now you're in split view, just like that. So quick and easy, and once you get the hang of this, you'll be doing that all the time. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is just how to zoom in and out, and this works in a whole variety of different apps. I'm going to open up Photos, and if you hit Command plus, it makes the photos bigger. If you hit Command minus, it makes the photos smaller. So it's just a way to be able to better see. I can't see anything that way, so I have to kind of blow stuff up like that, and then I can find it. And this doesn't just work in Photos, it works in other apps too. Let's go into Safari, a website, and you can hit Command plus here and make it bigger, Command minus and make it smaller, just like that. So in different applications you can use that zoom in and zoom out function. Really, really handy. So there you have it, a handful of useful keyboard shortcuts that'll make using your iPad so much better. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for a list of all of these shortcuts. Believe me, you'll have these built into your muscle memory in no time. Okay, that's a wrap for today. I hope you found this short tutorial helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Well, there we go.
I don't know about you guys. I found that very helpful. I'm curious about, he says, click on this a link below and get a full list of them?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Go back one screen, Bruce. 2 screens, one more screen. There's the link to his YouTube there. That's in the chat. There's a link of these videos in the chat. Download that and it'll have the link.
Right.
Or on the BBS.
BCS, BC. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. You can move forward.
But I just wanted to let you know that I even had my wife watch this because she has an iPad and she's got a keyboard and there's always swiping back and forth and all kind of stuff. Well, this was informative. So this I was satisfied as far as she got some information out of it. And the next one is it's a short one. This is from Apple, and this is for us who are going to erase an iPhone if we're going to give it to somebody else. So here's the steps on what to do.
Want to erase the current content and settings on your iPhone? Here's how. We'll teach you how to erase your content directly from your iPhone in Settings and how to erase it using your computer. Before you start, make sure you have an iCloud backup or a backup saved on your computer. A factory reset erases all of your data on your iPhone, so you need a backup if you want to save your content or settings or transfer them to a new device. You'll also want to have your Apple account login details handy. First, we'll show you how to erase your content directly from your iPhone, so you can restore it to factory settings. In Settings, tap General, then scroll down and tap Transfer or Reset iPhone. Next, tap Erase all content and settings. Tap Continue. If you have an eSIM, you can choose to erase your eSIM or keep it. You might need to erase your eSIM if you transferred the eSIM's data plan or phone number to another device, or if you're going to sell, trade in, or give away your device. If you do decide to erase your eSIM, you need to contact your carrier to reactivate your cellular plan. We're going to delete our eSIM and erase the device. Then enter your passcode. If you have screen time enabled, you will also be prompted to enter your screen time passcode. Now, just wait for your backup to finish. Next, enter your Apple account password. Then, tap Turn Off in the top right corner of your screen. This will remove activation lock from your device. Now, just wait for your iPhone to erase. This might take a moment or two. When the process is complete, the Hello screen will appear. You can also erase your iPhone using a Mac or PC. If you're using Mac OS Catalina or later, you'll use the Finder. If you're using a PC, open the Apple Devices app. If your PC doesn't have the Apple Devices app, or your Mac is using Mac OS Mojave or earlier, open iTunes instead. First, you'll need to turn off Find My on your iPhone. You won't be able to restore it until you do this. In Settings, tap your name, tap Find My, tap Find My iPhone, and tap to turn off Find My iPhone. When prompted, enter your Apple account password and tap Turn Off in the top right corner of your screen to confirm. Next, connect your iPhone to your computer. You might be prompted to click Allow in order to finish connecting your iPhone. Now, open the Finder, Apple Devices, or iTunes. Then, select your device in the sidebar in the Finder or Apple Devices app, or in the upper left corner in iTunes. To allow your computer to access your iPhone, click Trust. Now, tap Trust on your iPhone to continue. Then, enter your passcode on your iPhone and click Restore iPhone on your Mac. Next, you'll erase all content and settings from your iPhone. So make sure you have an iCloud backup or a backup on your computer. That way, you can retrieve your data later. Click Backup if you need to make a backup, or click Don't Backup to continue without making one. Click Restore to confirm, then wait for your computer to install the latest version of iOS on your iPhone. Your device will restart, and after a moment or two, the Hello screen will appear. And that's how to erase your iPhone. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel.
So that's what we need to do to be able to safely hand over your equipment to somebody else. Well, again, those steps are, I mean, that video is on the BBS, and download the links if you need to. And you have to follow those. Otherwise, if you miss one of those steps and you give it to somebody else, and not that anything's going to happen, but sometimes you won't be able to get it off your Apple account. It'll be there because that step wasn't followed. So be sure to follow those steps before you do
If you
give
don't,
your device to somebody else.
if you don't, if you don't turn off Find My, it won't be usable by anybody else. If they get it and they can contact you after the fact, you can go to your Apple ID on your phone, your computer, or on the web. It'll list your devices. If it's listed in there, you can remove it from your account, and that will let them erase it and reuse it.
Well, thank you, John.
Well, we've gotten some at the office. We don't know who it belongs to. They don't, when you try to do it, it says it's locked to an Apple ID, but they don't give you the full email address. They only give you a partial, so you can sort of, oh yeah, that's my email. And if you don't know that person who it is, it's done. You can't do anything.
Okay. The next one we have is Gary again, and this is how to, and we didn't see this before. I've checked it. And this is how to take movies without editing. And there's something some option you turn on and turn off, and the movie gets made by itself. So here's something to behold. This is nice.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you a great new thing that you can do when recording video on your iPhone in iOS 18. So among all the great new features of iOS 18 for your iPhone, there's one tiny little one that Apple barely mentions, but I love this new feature. It's the ability to pause while recording video in the Camera app. It sounds really simple, but it opens up all sorts of new creative avenues. So for instance, here's a video that I shot while on a walk recently. And it looks like it's several different video clips all put together in one, like maybe using an app like iMovie. But in fact, it's just one video that I recorded directly in the regular Camera app on the iPhone. All I did was pause the recording at some point and then walked a little further, pointed the camera somewhere else, and started recording again. And I continued to do that all by just pausing and unpausing the recording of the video. By the way, if you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 2,000 others that support MacMost at Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You can read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. So here's how you do it in the Camera app. So when you first go to the Camera app, you may find yourself in photo mode. You need to, of course, switch to video mode. Once you're in video mode, you can choose between your iPhone's different cameras, and you could switch between the front and back cameras. Then you could start recording. Now, when you start recording, in iOS 18, you get this pause button up here. This is what's new. You can tap that, and it pauses recording. The video isn't finished yet. You can now move on, point it somewhere else, do something else, or maybe you just need to take a break while you're recording yourself, and then you press this button again to resume. Pressing this button here, that will stop the video and finish it. But pressing this one resumes recording, and you can see the clock is ticking up again. You can pause again by tapping this button right here. You can even change the camera you're using, though you can't switch between front and back. But you can use 2 fingers on the screen to zoom in and out like that. And then you can resume recording again, pause it, do that as many times as you like. And when you're totally finished with the video, then you press the stop button right there. And now you have the entire video all spliced together as one single video without having to do anything else. You don't need to take a bunch of clips and bring them into another app and create a new video from that. It's all done already. It's ready to be shared over social media, sent via messages, or shared in the Photos app. It certainly can make your photo library neater just having this one video instead of several of them in there, and not giving you any extra work to do to produce something to share online. You can use it to tell a story, something like this.
So did you know that in addition to collecting things that have to do with games and the history of games, I also love to collect playing cards. In fact, here are a couple of recent additions. I love the Beatles, so these are perfect. I have lots of cards, and they're stored mostly like in boxes and drawers and stuff. I don't have room to display them. But you may have spotted these books that are behind the cards here, and these actually aren't books. These are boxes. So when you open one up, it's just an empty space, and there's room for 8 decks. A neat way to store my collection.
You can also use it when recording yourself. You can pause and then gather your thoughts and then resume again and keep doing that and have it all as one finished video. It can be really useful at events. Say you want to do one of those videos where you go around talking to people at a birthday party or wedding or something. You can start recording and talk to somebody, pause it, go to somebody else and set them up with the same question, then unpause it for them to answer, pause it again, and continue, and end up with just one single video. And you're done when you're done. There's no additional work for you. Now, of course, there's a ton that you can't do with this that you could do if you had individual clips. For instance, you can't delete a part here. If you record something and pause, you can't go back and say, don't use that last part. It's just part of that video there. So it's kind of your artistic canvas for creating a video. You've got to just record in segments and you can't go back. But it still may be easier to record a whole bunch of different segments in one video, bring them into an app like iMovie, and then cut parts of it out, than have, say, 15 different clips that you need to bring in and arrange. So give this a try with your iPhone today. Try recording a video in little segments like this and see what you can create. Think about what you could use it for in the future. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.
So, anybody tried this feature? And if so, how did it come out?
I have. It's handy. It's like you said, you're doing this, and this. Like you want to, for instance, you want to take a shot of your niece playing baseball. You want to put all of her at bats together instead of trying to do that other hodgepodge. Pause. Next time she comes up, do it. And I'm surprised he didn't mention while you're doing that, if you open up your video camera to video, they have the pause on the left. Well, that white button on the right takes a picture. So while you're filming, you can take just a snapshot also without having to close up and go to camera or go to photo and back and forth.
But that snapshot isn't included in the video. It goes to photos, right?
Exactly. It's the same thing. Goes into photos.
I would
It's
suggest
something how
it sounds cool. I would suggest if you're going to use it, practice a little bit first, because you only get one shot at it if you're doing it live.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with anything, really. But yeah.
Comment about that.
Go ahead.
In the recent fires and stuff, everybody was saying, make sure that you know what the content of your house is so that you can show that to the insurance company and so on.
Mm-hmm.
If you take one of these videos like they just talked about, just going from one room to another, you could shoot everything in your entire house in one long video that you could show the insurance companies if you needed to in an emergency.
Now, there's an idea.
Sure, download it onto a flash drive and then send it to one of your relatives so it's not in your house when it goes up. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any more ideas? And yeah, I can see that. That's right. Of course, you got to be cognizant of, I wonder how much room it takes up, depending on how much stuff you've got. But you can offload it, right? And keep it someplace else.
Exactly.
Keep it in your iCloud or something.
Don't just keep your home inventory on your phone and then your phone burns up and then you don't have nothing.
Yeah.
So like they were saying, people take it, they put it on a flash drive, stick it in their wall safe, whatever, and their wall safe isn't rated for all that. It's just a minor security inconvenience for a thief.
Put it online somewhere.
You put it online, or like I said, stick it in an envelope and mail it to somebody out of state.
Isn't it saved on the cloud?
Yes.
Yes.
It just takes up space.
Oh, okay.
Just to comment, John, if your iPhone burns up, remember everything you took is on the iCloud. So you haven't
Only if you turned on iCloud photos syncing.
Right.
And you have the space to hold everything.
I guess you got to pay extra. The 5 gigabytes that you get for free is probably not enough to store. But so what? 99 cents gives you 50. $2.99 gives you what? Good chunk.
You can store
200
private videos on YouTube that only if they have the link can you view them, and you get 15 gigs for free.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. That's for your photos. YouTube videos is unlimited. We'll put 2 hours every week for 5 years of these meetings, and it hasn't cost us anything.
Well, anybody else have anything to say about that? If not, I have another short video. What to do if you lose one of your Apple devices, in this case, the AirPods. So if you have all the stuff set up, you should be able to find it. There you go.
If your AirPods, AirPods Pro, or AirPods Max have gone missing, help is on the way with Find My. In the Devices tab of Find My, tap your AirPods. If you have multiple devices listed here, you might need to swipe up on the handle first and scroll down. Depending on which model you have, there might be a left or right bud listed individually. If you have a MagSafe charging case, it might be listed alongside a bud or separately. Tap the item you want to find. We're searching for a missing charging case. If your AirPods are outside of Bluetooth range, there will be a Directions button on the right side of the device menu. You can tap it to open maps, and their last known location will appear on the map. If your AirPods 3, AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation, AirPods Pro 1 or 2, or AirPods Max are within Bluetooth range, there will be a Find button instead. When you tap it, your iPhone will direct you to their location. Start by moving your iPhone around your space a bit. Once your iPhone connects, Find My will let you know if you're getting closer to or farther away from your item. On supported models, if you're searching for a case, Precision Finding can help lead you directly to it. Face the pulsing dot on your screen so that the arrow points to it and move toward it. You can also tap the Play Sound button in the bottom right corner and follow a chime to help you locate your item. Tap the Close button in the bottom left corner to go back once you've found it. If you're still having trouble finding your case or AirPods, you can turn on Lost Mode to get help recovering them. This works with AirPods 3, AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation, AirPods Pro 1 and 2, and AirPods Max. Just swipe up on the handle and tap Activate under Mark as Lost. With Lost Mode turned on, you'll receive a notification the next time your item's location becomes available. Your AirPods will also stay linked to your Apple account, so if someone tries to connect them, any contact information you entered when you turned on Lost Mode will appear on their device. And on your device, their location will be displayed in Find My. To activate Lost Mode, you can tap Continue and follow the on-screen steps. We'll tap Cancel for now. If you need to remove your AirPods from Find My, tap Remove this device. Once you do this, you won't be able to locate them using Find My, and you'll have to pair them with your iPhone again if they're found. And that's how Find My can help reunite you with your lost AirPods. To learn more about your Apple devices, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel, or
Well, this applies, I guess, to every device that you have. And I know few people here who have recovered their devices by going to Find My. So that's the way to find it. And if there anybody else that, anybody out there that has a comment?
I have a comment.
Please.
When I'm missing my iPhone, I just say to my Apple Watch, I just say, "Hey, lady, ping my iPhone," and my iPhone starts pinging, and I can hear it and walk to it.
Really?
Excellent. Yeah.
Much appreciated information there.
Right. I have a comment too. This is Peter, and I seem to have lost the.
We can see you.
You can see me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Then
There
we
we
can
go.
hear you.
That's better. Yeah. Anyway, my wife had an experience this past week in which she was in a place she wasn't too familiar with. She parked her car in a garage and then could not find the car. I had put an Apple AirTag into the trunk of the car, and after searching for an hour, she called me up and was concerned that the car maybe was stolen. But I went into Find My, and the device showed that the car was parked at this specific garage, and I was able to tell her the location in the garage, and there was a level that she hadn't realized was there, and she'd gone to the wrong level. So she found the car, and all was well. But yeah, I think AirTags in cars are a good idea.
There's lots of good ways to do that. You can, when we used to go to Moscone or San Francisco, when I get out of the car, I take a photo of what the nearest pillar, usually have a color code and B or what level you're on or whatever, so you can remember the general area.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you might note that if you use the Maps application, the map, when you park your car in a garage like that, if assuming you know what level it's on, the Maps application shows you where it is. So you come back into that level, it'll take you right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there's
Very
many
good.
ways that you do it. If you have your phone paired with Bluetooth to the car, it should drop a pin as soon as you get out of the car automatically, so you can find it again. If not, you can manually drop a pin on the maps if you don't pair your phone to the car.
Well, and you can just say, "Hey Siri, remember where I parked my car," and she takes care of the whole thing.
She'll do that.
Yeah. So when you come out of the store to go, "Siri, find my car," she takes you to it.
Excellent.
But
Do
she wouldn't
you
know.
have
She wouldn't know the level, would she?
I don't know. I haven't tried it. Tell you what, why don't you try it and let us know?
That's why I would always take a picture on the usually
Yeah.
on the posts, they'll have a color-coded letter or something, what level you're on, and you shoot that, at least you know what you're on the wrong level.
Gives you a
Because you could
ballpark.
it could be stacked, it could be multiple levels, and you could be on any one level on the same map.
I don't know. I'll try it next time I get to a multi-level garage.
I don't do that
Right.
too much anymore.
Can get reception.
Yeah. I know it's good when you go to concert.
But there's some garages that are just terrible that don't put any lane markings or levels or anything. You just really have to figure out what you can see on the elevator, that it's floor 2 or something.
Where are you parking, Jan?
It happens.
I mean, casinos have that. I mean, it's like,
That's terrible.
don't ask. I won't. Just trust me.
Well, you know, that's I can only imagine when Peter's wife was trying to figure out, you know, what happened, because something like that happened to me a long time ago at BART station here and stuff. So that was nice, Peter, that you were able to figure it out. I mean, to let her know it's not stolen. So
Well, I was very happy I put the AirTag in the car. But evidently there's a way to do it just by alerting Siri. Does your phone it doesn't need to be in the car. That wouldn't work.
Well, her phone, if she's driving, somebody in the car's phone needs to be paired via Bluetooth to the car when you get out of the car.
No.
Ah, okay.
Can we drop the screen and go to gallery mode? Or?
Pretty sure it doesn't have to be paired to the car. I'll try it, but you can just get out of your car and say, "Siri, remember where I parked my car," and then she'll take it from there when you come out of the store or whatever it is.
Do we have any more video?
That's great.
I do. The next one. This is and it's short. This is to when we came across a few people that don't really do this. So this is how and why you want to back up to Time Machine.
We don't have Keynote anymore. We just have Bruce. You're not sharing your screen. All we see is Bruce. We don't see the Keynote. We don't see screen sharing.
I'm seeing the whole thing.
I see it.
I see it.
I see it.
Oh, okay,
I see
my
it.
fault. Never mind.
Start. You'll need an external storage device for your Time Machine backups, which can require a lot of space. We recommend a storage device that you only use for your backups, and to use a storage device with at least twice the storage capacity of your Mac. Let's start by setting up Time Machine on your Mac. Make sure your external storage device is connected to your Mac. Now, click the Apple menu in the top left corner of the screen. Then, click System Settings. Scroll down and click Time Machine. You might need to click General first, depending on your version of Mac OS. Next, click Add Backup Disk. Then, select the disk you want to use for your backup and click Set Up Disk. If you choose to encrypt your backups, which is on by default, just enter a password for the backup disk and re-enter it to confirm. Enter a hint that will help you recall your password if you forget it. You won't be able to access your backups without it. Click Done when you're ready. Now your Mac will prepare your external storage device, and your backup will begin shortly after. Depending on how many files you have, the first time might take a while, but you can continue using your Mac throughout this process. You can click the Options button if you want to customize additional Time Machine preferences. Once it's complete, you'll get a notification. Now, Time Machine will continue to run automatically as long as your Mac is connected to your external storage device and plugged into power. When it becomes full, Time Machine will delete the oldest backups to make space for new ones. After you've set up Time Machine, you can start a backup manually at any time. To do this, click the Time Machine icon in the top right corner of your screen and click Backup Now. You can open the Time Machine menu at any time to check the status of a backup in progress, or click Stop this backup or Skip this backup to stop a backup in progress. And that's how to back up your Mac regularly with Time Machine.
So just make sure that the external drive is connected to your device, because when you have the Time Machine turned on and set up to do it automatically, which does every hour, starts backing every hour. Backing up every hour. If you don't have the external device connected, it's going to start writing to your hard drive, taking snapshots and storing them within your hard drive. So make sure your external device is connected, and if you want to control it yourself, you don't turn it on. You don't turn it on. You turn it on. You turn it off, and then you turn it on manually yourself. That way, it doesn't store anything on your hard drive. Is that correct, John?
Yeah, and you leave it on all the time. A lot of people I run into have a laptop and they don't plug their Time Machine in only every couple of weeks or something. You need that sucker plugged in all the time, whenever you have wherever it normally sits the most, where it's plugged into power on your desk or wherever that is. If the power is plugged in, plug in the Time Machine. If you want to move it somewhere else, that's fine. Eject the Time Machine, disconnect the power, go do whatever you're going to do. But when it comes back to that location where it sits overnight, plug the power in, plug the Time Machine in so it can back up and do its maintenance overnight.
Amen.
Just let it go to sleep. It does things when it's sleeping that are good.
And just want to add something else to it. If you don't back up regularly for long enough, it'll start backing the whole thing up, and then it'll take forever or a very long time. If you just, like John said, just plug it in, leave it overnight, it'll catch up and the backup will be next to nothing.
Well, it has this feature where if you have a laptop and you travel with it, when you don't have your Time Machine, when you're gone, it changes and backs up to the internal drive and starts filling it up. When you get home and plug it in, it's supposed to move those back to the Time Machine and get them off of there. But if you never plug your Time Machine in, it will keep backing up onto your local hard drive and fill it completely up. I've seen it multiple times. And then you have to clear it. There's a command line to delete Time Machine local backups.
But if you back it up, if you finally remember to plug it in and it offloads all of that, it'll get rid of that onboard backup automatically, or do you know?
That's what they say, but I wouldn't trust that that's happening. If you Google it, there's a command line and terminal that you can check Time Machine local backups and see what's there, and also delete them. But the answer is you always keep your time machine plugged in unless you're moving around. But when you come back, always plug it in.
No.
That's the thing you need to remember.
Okay, I'll have one more video, and
More?
it's an Apple 2 minutes, and this is how to customize notification summaries on the iPhone and iPad. There you go.
Starting in iOS 18.1 and iPadOS 18.1, you can choose to view your app notifications as summaries or as individual notifications. With Apple Intelligence enabled on compatible devices, your app notifications can automatically appear as summaries on your lock screen and in Notification Center, making long message threads or multiple notifications from a single app easier to understand at a glance. And you can tap a summary to reveal the individual notifications in the stack. If you'd like to remove the summaries from an app's notifications, you can do that from Settings. Here's how it works. In Settings, scroll down and tap Notifications. Then tap Summarize Notifications. From here, you can turn off Summarize Notifications to receive individual notifications from all apps instead of summaries. Or you can tap the switch next to any app in the list to turn off notification summaries and receive individual notifications for just that app. Continue to customize notification summaries for each app until you're finished. You can also turn them back on at any time if you'd like to receive summaries for that app's notifications again. And that's how to customize which apps will show notification summaries. Receive notifications your way. To learn more about your iPhone, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel or click another video to keep watching.
I think with yesterday's update that obviates what you just saw.
Ah.
So I think
So-
summaries are now off.
Hmm.
I think they turned
No, that's not
summary-
true.
It was for news, that news summaries they turned off,
Right.
not for
Okay.
everything else, because they were getting them wrong.
Well, that was
They probably won't turn them back on until they figure it out. Okay, so we'll any more questions about the videos program we saw today, or we'll start a new recording for the Q&A?
Well, I would like to point out somebody in the comment section said that your car needed to be connected to your Bluetooth or vice versa for that function to work. It doesn't. I just walked outside and tried it. I walked next door, said, "Hey Siri, remember where I parked my car?" She goes, "I'll remember." And I walked another 2 houses down on the other side and said, "Siri, where did I park my car?"
Yeah,
And
but I think that's a different feature. You're telling her to do it. If you just have your Bluetooth paired to your car, you don't have to do anything. You just get out and leave, and it remembers.
well, I don't know, but okay, you can try that.
So you don't have to remember to. You don't have to remember to remember. It just does it.
What did
So-
she say, Mike? Did Siri say walk back 2 feet or whatever? Or what
Yeah.
happened?
To quote Aerosmith, she goes, "Walk this way." No,
Walk this way. That's a good one.
No, she goes, "I'll give you directions to your car," and then you tap the little thing that says directions, and it's got the map and it shows you where you are and your car is and directions to go.
Oh, okay, thanks.
If you are using Bluetooth and ask Siri to find the car or Bluetooth or whatever, do you have to be within Bluetooth range of the car for it to work?
I don't think so,
No.
because every once in a while, when I'm out, my phone will say, "Your car's this way" or something.
I think the way the Bluetooth syncing works is when you leave your car, Bluetooth only works for a short distance. And as soon as you break that distance, it knows that you left your car and remembers where that was. So you don't do anything unless you're lost. And then you say, "Where was my car?" And it remembers the last time it was paired and unpaired.
No, John,
No?
it records it when you shut off the car
Okay.
because it loses the connection when you shut off the car.
Is that for
Yeah.
Bluetooth or CarPlay?
Right. When it loses Bluetooth connection, turn off the car, that's when it happens, not when you leave the car, when you turn it off. Okay, good. But you don't have to do anything automatic. It just automatically does that wherever you go all the time.
I would like
Thank
to
you.
point, I would like to point out that you don't say, "Hey Siri, find my car," because she'll go, "I don't have your car in any of my Find My."
Oh,
So
really?
I have to say, "Where did I park my car?" Because if it's Find My, she's going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I got 4 AirTags and 2 phones, and that's it.
Okay, anything else about the program? We'll stop this recording. Anybody? Okay, we'll stop this recording. The people, DVMUG members watching this on YouTube, will be able to find the next video for the Q&A on the BBS where you can watch it. Okay, I'm going to stop.